Weird number. Marquez had some big plays for us. Juju, Sky stepped up at the end, had some big catch and runs for us. El Grady stepping in and doing a nice job at the guard spot.
She's sacked him! A great bull rush by Chris Jones!
When it gets tough, you know, he's going to be there. Battle players appreciate it.
The Chiefs put the hammer down with a 34-yard touchdown pass. The 10, still not out. Oh, what a run! Out of this world! Falling up the 20, 10, 5, touchdown!
I'm going to start the Chiefs Rewind the same way I started the radio broadcast. For 63 years, these two teams have hammered on each other. And this 2022 Part 1 version, no difference. 30-29 Chiefs victory after the Chiefs trailed 17-0. Mitch Holthus with you, voice of the Chiefs, along with senior team reporter Matt McMullen. Oh my gosh, put this one in the thumb drive full of memories in this series.
Let's just take a deep breath quickly here. What did we just watch?
I don't know.
What a game, and what a game for the Chiefs to pull out and win. On our podcast earlier this week, we talked about yes, no, and bizarro. I think this solidly fits in the bizarro category. The Chiefs falling behind by 17 points. It was 17-0, no problem. They go on a 30-12 run and win this game. It was awesome.
We're going to start, though, with a 30-yard run by Jerick McKinnon. The Chiefs had nothing going. It'll be a lost play. McKinnon gave life to the entire Chiefs kingdom with a 30-yard run about 25 after contact.
You think about how physical the Raiders were being early on in this game. They were hungry. They wanted this one. They were getting pushed along the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and the Chiefs weren't, quite frankly. But for Jerick McKinnon to break off that 30-yard run on 2nd and 17, it was 2nd and forever. He breaks that run off, carries like 10 Raiders with him along the way, gets the first down, leads to the first touchdown for the Chiefs, and after that, it was an avalanche. But it has to start with something, and Jerick McKinnon was that dude tonight.
And the Chiefs defense got enough done. They were facing a Raider team that went tackle over tackle tonight, going big and using Josh Jacobs very effectively. We called it. I mean, field pass, we had it down. But enough stops defensively when the game flipped.
And they kept throwing punches over and over again. You're right, Devontae Adams, he got his. Derek Carr made some great throws in this game, and Josh Jacobs was a bowling ball. One of his best games of his career, I think, so far. He was awesome in this game, but the defense never let it get them down. They kept throwing punches throughout, and at the very end, the defense was on the field when this game was won.
And made the play of the game defensively on a 30-29. The Raiders go for 2 with one of the best running backs in the league, particularly at breaking tackles, and they stuff it. Chris Jones, Derek Nottie, Colin Saunders had a heck of a game, maybe his best as a Chief, to keep them out of the 2-point conversion. Chiefs win it 30-29.
And just a gutsy call there for the Raiders to do that. And the Chiefs, they didn't let it get them down. They didn't get psyched out by the decision. They said, all right, this is our chance to hold on to the lead, and they held on to it.
Travis Kelce, 4 touchdown receptions. We're hoping to have Kelce later in the show. Let's go to the podium.
As far as the injuries go, Wharton tore his ACL, his left knee. Cook had a concussion. Clark was sick. Lamons hurt his right hip, came out, and Fenton had cramps, came out. Listen, what a good win. What a good win to get against a rival. Josh has done a phenomenal job there with the Raiders. They played us very tough. Our crowd, man, our crowd was tremendous tonight, digging in for 4 quarters with us and hanging right there. As far as players that stood out, listen, our D-line, we had to reach down deep at the D-line, and Colin Saunders played a heck of a game. Herring played a nice game, stepping in. He got a ton of snaps. Bolton was off the chart. Bolton was off the charts with his tackle. I mean, it's going to be hard to find another guy in the league the tackle's better than Bolton. I mean, he's unbelievable. And then Harris stepping in at the linebacker spot. I mean, I can keep going with that, but offensively, McCole just had some tough yards for us, man. Stepped up. They were trying to take Kelce out of the game. He had 25 yards and 4 touchdowns. So, I mean, that's a pretty good day, but kind of a weird number. Marquez had some big plays for us. Juju, Sky stepped up at the end, had some big catch and runs for us. Elgrady stepping in and doing a nice job at the guard spot for us. So, all in all, it was just, it was probably a tale of halves. We played a lot better the second half, or at least the second part of the second quarter there, and then through the second half than we did the first half. So, but it was a nice win to get for sure.
Could you talk about that? I'm sorry. Could you talk about that? What you saw when Chris Jones hit the quarterback?
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought he had the ball, so I mean that's what I thought. But that's their job, so they do that.
Andy, it seemed like, obviously you don't want that play to go that way, but it also seemed like it maybe lit a little bit of a fire under you particularly, but under the team. Did you see it that way in hindsight?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's an emotional game. So what I thought wasn't right. So, but it is what it is.
Did you feel that sense though? I don't know if it's the sort of thing you feel in the locker room at halftime, like there's some kind of energy coming out of that.
Yeah, I mean the guys felt the same way I did. So yeah, I think it gave us a little juice probably.
What was your message to the team coming into the half?
Yeah, keep fighting. Keep fighting. We're getting that momentum going the right direction, and battle. We were getting the ball the second half. Make sure the offense does a good job, and then defensively, just keep after him, man. Just keep attacking and fighting was the main thing. Just, that was important.
It seemed like you guys were in a better rhythm when you came out in the third quarter. As far as you could say, what maybe did you need to adjust?
Yeah, the first drive I thought was good. They were playing some man coverage on us. The run game was just kind of going okay that first half, or at least the first quarter and part of the second quarter. But we felt like we could bear down with the run a little bit more and get some positive yards there. So we started with that, and then kind of built in some of our play pass and quick game off of that. Had some big plays. Marquez had a couple nice grabs.
At a certain point, did you say, Jarek has it going, let's kind of lean into what he's doing for us?
Yes. Well, I mean, he was doing well. I mentioned to Dan that it's that veteran leadership that he brings to the table, and also being patient. So he kind of pumped the brakes and waited till the line took care of business, and then he hit it from there. So it showed great patience there.
What went into your decision to go for 2 there at the end?
Well, I thought it was the right thing to do. I would have liked to have completed it, but we didn't get that done. I thought it was important. I mean, points were important, period, but I thought going for 2 was important.
Another decision too, the punt. The passive play and making that decision. Was a gut feeling thing too?
Trusting the defense there. So, yeah.
Coach, as long as you've been here, I don't believe I've seen you as maybe annoyed on the sideline following the Chris Jones sack.
You guys are trying to get me fined. I'm not going to bite. I'm not going there. I mean, I can't. I got it off my chest, and he got it off his chest. So he made the call he made, and I got what I needed said.
With what happened with the Brady Jarrett play on Tom Brady yesterday, all in reaction to, we assumed the two-way hit from 2 weeks before. What concerns you have about the way roughing the passer is being efficient?
Yeah, listen, I'm into the league. I'm on a couple committees there, and I understand protecting the quarterback. That's important. It is important. There's a fine line, right? I mean, we've just got to sort that out. But these guys, I mean, they work their butt off to do a good job for us out here. And, and the league spends time doing it and looking at it. And so, but, sometimes there's a point where you got to let guys play. And we've just got to find where that happy median is.
A couple more. Point of clarification. You seem to suggest that you were told that it would not have been roughing the passer had Chris Jones taken the ball from him, but since he didn't have the ball, it was...
No, he said that, no, it was the weight that he put on the quarterback. that he slammed his weight on the quarterback's body.
Maybe there were a couple of plays that I don't know if any two guys on the field other than Patrick and Travis could make together, right? And I'm sure you're just about out of superlatives for them, but can you just describe the things that get you to be able to rely on that and what Travis continues to see?
Yeah, no, they work so well together, and how they play off of each other, I think, is big. That doesn't always happen in this league, where you find a guy that you have that mojo with, or whatever you want to term it. So.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, the Chiefs get the victory 30-29. They're celebrating here in the locker room club on Chiefs Rewind. The Chiefs go to 4-1 on the season. The Raiders 1-4, and all 4 losses have been one-possession games. Let's talk about some tough catches, though, made by wide receivers here. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, his best game so far.
Yeah, certainly. His best game as a Chief so far. Made some really big catches when the Chiefs really needed it. He finished this game with 6 grabs for 90 yards. Juju Smith-Schuster also had a pretty nice game for the Chiefs. Stat line doesn't really show it, but he had 3 grabs for 33 yards. Had a big catch as well on 3rd down.
Travis Kelce, 4 touchdowns, but the one to give the Chiefs the lead. 3 stiff arms, 3 on that play, where he made it and look like, Christian Okoye. But what a night for Travis Kelce. Not a huge yardage night, but man, tasting the sweet nectar of the end zone 4 times.
He embodies the spirit of this team, the spirit of the stadium, and the spirit of this city. When we're down by all these points, he says, no, this game isn't over. We're going to find a way. And the Chiefs almost scored a touchdown previously, but then Patrick Mahomes gets sacked after falling down. You're like, oh no, it's 2nd and 8, goal to go. But Travis Kelce catches the ball. 4 guys try tackling him, and he finds the end zone. He just embodies everything about this city and about this team, and it's a beautiful thing.
A lot of questions when Willie Gay Jr. had his suspension, like who's going to fill in for the Chiefs. This was a night, though. This was atypical. The Chiefs played a lot of 3 linebacker look tonight in the base. But Darius Harris was good not only against Tampa Bay, he was even better tonight because he had to get out to the outside to help on perimeter runs and throws, and then made some big open field tackles. And let's don't leave Nick Bolton out again, but Darius Harris deserves mention.
Well, Harris had that sack on that drive where Josh Jacobs was just eating field. You feel like the Raiders are definitely going to score a touchdown on that drive. They're being physical along the line of scrimmage. But Darius Harris is shot out of a cannon, sacks Derek Carr, holds him to a field goal on that drive. And when you win a game by 1 point, holding guys to field goals instead of touchdowns is a pretty big deal.
And then late, the Chiefs were able to get it done because Daniel Carlson has made 38 field goals in a row. He's 15 of 15 this year. You knew if they got a 60-yard try, that was close enough for Daniel Carlson. The Chiefs didn't give him that opportunity.
Well, it says a lot about this defense. They know how good Daniel Carlson is, and they know if he gets to the 50-yard line, they have a shot to lead this game with a victory. They said, no, we're not giving up an inch. They won this game on the field, and that's the beautiful thing. We talk about this offense all the time, and deservingly so. But for the defense to win this game at the end, it was a complete team victory.
It was, and I'm going to tell you part of the team. Tonight's Arrowhead, GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium crowd.
Oh, yeah.
There were 11 penalties on the Raiders tonight. 11. This isn't that's always the Raiders. No. They have not been that penalized that much this year, but 11 tonight. And there were several where the crowd take a bow. The crowd tonight was phenomenal.
This crowd was electric. We always talk about how loud it is, but it was truly electric. And particularly when the Chiefs started getting some momentum going, they were not going to let the Chiefs lose this game. It was loud throughout. Derek Carr couldn't hear himself think. The Raiders felt that momentum against them. And that's what's awesome about this Kansas City crowd. They participate. They're not just watching.
No, for sure. And this became a little bit of a chess match. The Chiefs were up 7. They decided to go for 2 to go up 9 to make it a 2-possession lead. Pass batted down. So what do the Raiders do when they get within 1? They try to go for 2 to take the lead, and the Chiefs stuffed Josh Jacobs.
It gets back to Yes, Snow, and Bizarro, our podcast earlier this week. Yeah. These Raiders games are always a little bit weird.
All in this game. You realize it was Yes, Snow, and Bizarro all in this game?
It was truly everything. These games are always a little bit weird. I'm just glad we won.
Okay, let's go back to the podium.
But yeah, I knew when he caught the 4. They had a good game plan of kind of that old New England, hit them off the line of scrimmage, double cover them and stuff like that. I thought the other guys responded and made some big plays happen, and that's what we needed to see out of our offense.
How do you guys harness the anger from the Chris Jones roughing the passer penalty to where it actually leads to better play in the second half?
Yeah, I think there was anger of just kind of how we had played up until that point. I mean, I feel like they were the physical team. They brought the fight to us. But I thought our guys responded. And I was just talking to the guys in the locker room. It was like sometimes these games are the ones that build the true character of the team. I mean, whenever you do come out and they're kind of like throw that first punch and hit you, and how you respond and go back and fight, that was good to see from this team.
Patrick, speaking of the Jerick McKinnon had that run and a couple on that drive, how much do you feel like that plays into what you just mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 running backs, I mean, really 4, that can go out there and make plays happen. And I think you see every week it's kind of someone different. And Jet's a guy that's, I mean, he's been here. He has that attitude. He'll come down and pass block, run, whatever you want him to do, catch the ball in the backfield. And he kind of set it off where they got the sack and kind of backed us up again. And to run the ball, break tackles, carry people, it kind of got the momentum kind of going back in our favor to say, hey, we got to fight if we want to win this game.
Patrick, what do you think was going wrong early, the first quarter and a half or so, in terms of just getting unlocked?
I thought they just were more physical than we were. At the end of the day, they came out and they rushed the passer well. They ran the ball well. And those 2 things are how physical you are. And I kind of went up to the line. I said, hey, we're going to win or lose this game because of y'all. And they responded. They went out there and blocked their tail off the entire second half and gave me time to make those throws downfield.
Patrick, is that the first look on all his touchdowns?
No, on the first one, it was actually Juju, and how the play turned out, Marquez kind of got pushed down a little bit, so I was going to throw it to Juju. I don't know if that was the first one. I was going to throw it to Juju, and then I ended up hitting him over the top in the back end line of the end zone. And then the shallow cross he catches, I mean, that was like a possession throw to make it third and manageable at the goal, and he takes it all the way back across the field. So sometimes he's the main guy, and sometimes I just go through my reads, and he gets himself open.
Given the attention that Kelce was how important
No, I mean, that was big time. I mean, we needed it. We needed guys like McCole, Marquez, Sky, Juju. We need those guys to step up in different games and make big plays. And today it was Marquez that was the big guy that made a lot of big plays happen. That's stuff that we're going to need because, I mean, obviously people know we're going to throw Travis the ball. So they're going to, in certain situations, they're going to double team him. And if we can show we can win with other guys, that'll kind of take that away, and then we can open up the entire offense.
Patrick, bigger, much different game this week, obviously, than last week. Coming back from the deficit, what does that do for you the next time you guys get in a deficit situation like this? I mean, does it help you, or is it just
to me it helps because you just don't know how guys are going to respond. I mean, we have a lot of the same players that have been in some deficit games, but at the same time we have a lot of new guys as well. And so for guys to respond and just to keep battling, no matter we're down 17 points, and show that we can fight back from anything, that's what you want to see out of any great football team.
Neil, back here. The cameras on Monday Night Football caught you kind of yelling out there towards the field. You talked to the summer about how you like getting fired up. You like getting involved.
Yeah, no, I like to show my emotion when I play. That's kind of who I am. And I mean, I thought we needed it at that time as everybody to go out there and bring the fight back to them. And I think you saw that guys did that, and that's why we won the football game.
Right there, you got it.
Oh, me? Sorry. Pat, what was your reaction to the roughing call by Jones? Because it seems like the defenders are really angry about that, but as a quarterback yourself, is a play that you get to take advantage of. If it does happen in your sense, I guess. How did you react to that?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the greatest call in the world, but at the same time, I mean, it's a hard job they have at refereeing. But obviously, I mean, whenever the ball comes out and that guy, I mean, he's going to try to get off of him, but they're both fighting for the ball at the same time. It's tough, but you have to find a way to bounce back, and we did.
Patrick, that call could have cost you guys the game. You're a quarterback, but you're also a football.
Yeah.
What's your point of view on the roughing the passer in general, how it's being?
Yeah, I mean, it's something where, I mean, obviously you want to protect the players and everything like that in all aspects of the game, but at the same time, there comes like a common sense factor where guys are trying to play football and try to win football games. And so whenever it's blatant and they do something dirty to try to hurt someone, you want to make sure that's called. But at the same time, you don't want it to affect the football game and change the outcome. And I'm sure the rest of they watch tape and they do this. They work and practice just like we do, so they'll go back and work on it and make the right corrections.
Patrick, it seems like we've seen a lot of examples of you having almost like a telepathy with Travis. I wonder, a couple of those balls tonight, especially the one right at the goal line. I'm not sure whether you were Holthus to anybody else. How you describe that chemistry?
Yeah, it just comes with a lot of reps. Knowing that he's going to be ready for the ball right when he comes out of that break, and just giving him a chance. And that's stuff that I'm continuing to work with other guys. The corner route that threw the juju down at the red zone, same thing. It's like you just put in the spot. He knows he's going to be there and make stuff happen. So that just comes with reps, and I'm sure those other guys will get involved as well the same way.
Coach was obviously angry about that roughing the passer call. You ever seen him that angry? I mean, we don't get to see him all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him that angry, but not about a call on the football field. But if Coach is pretty animated, he's a pretty even-killed guy, so he must not agree with it. But like I said, it's a hard job. It's hard for me to be out there, be kind of criticizing it after the fact, but glad we won the football game, and it's not as big a deal as it could be.
Patrick, again, you all were down 17, and granted you were at home, but the way that the team played, what type of character, what does that tell you about your team? Because you mentioned you got a lot of new teammates and been in different situations. What does a game like tonight, especially going down to the wire the way it did, where they could have a walk-off field goal, you all pulling out?
Yeah, it's the last 2 weeks. I mean, you've seen how the guys responded after a hard loss in Indianapolis. The guys responded against a great Bucs team, a great Bucs defense, and the GOAT at quarterback. And then you go into another game where you could have a letdown with a big game coming the next week and a division opponent getting down 17-0. You guys could have kind of folded and quit. But guys responded. They came back. We won a game. And now we'll have another test this next week. So I'm excited. I mean, we had a hard schedule, and it's going to build that grit and that toughness that I think we'll need as we get to the later part of the season.
Last three. Patrick, before the end of the half, it looked like you wanted to go for it and decided to kick the 59-yard field goal. What was that conversation like?
No, it wasn't about me going for it. I literally just asked Tobe. I said, can he kick a 59-yard field goal? It's a new kicker, so you don't know does it no or not. And so if it's Harrison, I'm probably just like, go out there and kick it. And so once we called the timeout and discussed it, Tobe said, I have confidence he can make it. And the kid went out there and kicked it. So, I mean, it's you trust in your coaches, and they decided to go with the field goal, and we executed and ended up winning us the football game.
Sam, the name. The time we saw some of your emotional moments tonight, is part of that to fire up the team? Is it just in the moment? I guess a combination of both.
A little combination of both. I mean, fire up the team, fire up myself. I feel like I didn't play great in the first half, and that kind of sometimes you have to kind of create your own energy, and I kind of did that. And I mean, I think Crosby's a hell of a player, so I have a lot of respect for him. But sometimes you kind of use those things to kind of motivate yourself.
When you said earlier you mentioned something to the offensive line to get a better resist game? When was that?
That was like in probably the second quarter. I mean, I think I was after the Chandler Jones kind of got around me. And I just challenged them. I was like, hey, we're going to win or lose this because of y'all. I mean, they're playing man coverage. We have to attack downfield, but you're going to have to protect. And they responded. You saw from like the end of the second quarter on, I mean, those guys kind of held those guys at bay, and those are some great pass rushers. So you like to see that out of a veteran offensive line now.
I was going to ask a similar question, but to that point, Patrick, when you make the challenge, what do you do with yourself? And how did you feel like, did you have to make adjustments and improvement in your footwork in the pocket, or is that something where you sort of see progress from what you did in the offseason?
Yeah, I think we went back to the plays that were going to have success. I mean, we had a game plan in for certain defenses, and they came out with different ones. And so that's like that old New England way. When that Patrick Graham's from New England, and he always throws you a different pitch. It's never going to be exactly what you see. But we've played those guys a lot now, so we understand. And it's cool to see because we were running plays that we necessarily didn't really run at practice. And we went back into the toolbox, and when the guys knew how to do it, and with a lot of new receivers, that can be kind of testy sometimes. And so I was proud of those guys and how they responded and made plays happen in the second half.
Thanks, man.
Chiefs win at 30-29 over the Raiders. One of the heroes of the game, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Wow, down 17-0. You've been in this league now long enough to come fighting back to win that game. What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the game's never over. We got a good football team. You got to put them away, and they couldn't put us away because we're very resilient and battled through adversity really well. And we had never had a doubt in our mind that we weren't going to go out and win that game. We just had to settle in. They jumped out really quick. Credit to them and and how they prepared and to come out the game. But we were able to weather that storm and go out and put some points on the board to win the game.
Big thing to do it when it's hard, MVS, and nothing going, 17-0 down. You make a big catch, followed up by McKinnon's run. How much did those two plays just put oxygen into everybody's heart?
Yeah, I mean, that's all you need is one play to get things rolling. And I was glad I was able to spark it off a little bit. And then, Jet running that ball on that drive, breaking, I don't know how many tackles to get, that 25-yard gain or whatever it was. Just the spark to get this offense going. And, once we got going, we're hard to stop.
They were setting a safety back at 25 yards, wide 9 technique with those guys. But it appeared you guys were able to make an adjustment to get to the outside against them. How big was that in the second half especially?
Yeah, obviously, we got a really good, offense and a really good, offensive coordinator, and obviously Coach Reed being able to make adjustments on the fly because they came out doing things a little bit different than what we thought, throughout the week. So they, credit to them because they schemed us up a little bit good in the first half, but we were able to make some adjustments and then go out and do what we wanted to do on offense.
One final question has to be with the tough catches. A lot of times receivers don't get enough credit for the tough catches or the tough blocks. How much toughness did your room show today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we got a heck of a room, man. I think we, top to bottom, it's a super special room. And, battling through injuries and, everything that we got going on. And like I said, 4 out of the 5 guys are all new, so being able to come in and play and make plays throughout the game, it's just huge. Hats off to everybody in my room. I'm super excited to what we can continue to grow to do. But this is a great step for what we can do as a room.
90 yards in receiving, but that doesn't tell the story. Tough catches at tough times for Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
What was your thoughts on the atmosphere and how the game played out?
Yeah, definitely lived up to the rivalry that I've been hearing about all week. I mean, give credit to them. They came in and played a tough game. It was very physical. Definitely wasn't pretty, but all W's count the same way. So found a way to stick it out and get the win.
There were some big plays, and of course you had a couple of big hits, I guess, back-to-back with Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the rivalry right there. I mean, it was coming downhill. I think he did a great job today. He ran the ball really hard. In the first half, we kind of got on our heels a little bit. But in the second half, we really found a way to string together, hold them to 9 points, and give our offense a chance to go out and put some points on the board and then finish out the game. So, hard work, staying together, a positive attitude, give credit to the culture of this team that we didn't start falling apart on each other when things didn't look ugly, found a way to battle through the adversity and come out on top.
Can you describe the emotional impact of the penalty on Chris? Obviously, the big deal in the moment.
I understand what the officials are trying to do, make the game a safer game for the quarterbacks. I think that was just an unfortunate situation because the ball came out. It was a fumble. And then Chris was going for the ball, and he recovered it. You know what I mean? It's just inadvertent that he ended up landing on the guy, and I didn't agree with the penalty. But, we don't control how the game is officiated. We only control how we play. So we had to come out the next play and just keep battling.
Do you feel like it was a spark?
Yeah. I think it energized the atmosphere. I think it energized the team that we got one took from us. And then at that point, you just got to band together and find a way.
Is this such a quick change from all of a sudden an incompletion on the review, now it's 4th and 1? What was the thought process about that play, and just what did you see from your vantage point?
Shoot, man, this is a good thing for us. When I saw the play on the field, I thought it was incomplete. When they called it complete, I thought it was just swinging the same way a couple of other calls have gone on the field. But they ended up reviewing it, made the right decision, brought it back, ended up putting the pressure on the 4th down play. Nick ended up getting through and putting pressure on Derek Carr, making him get the ball out order, and came out with a win. So very tough game. By all means, wasn't pretty, but still got it done.
Justin, you guys, as a leader on the defense, you guys always talk about not finger pointing, not getting down on your teammates. When a guy like Devontae Adams is having a game like he had tonight, what's your message to the young guys that are trying to do?
Just keep sticking to it. A lot of the mistakes early in the game was more on us than it was on them. You know what I mean? It's us coming out and not executing the way that we're capable of, not playing up to our standards. So once we regrouped, got our heads on straight and started battling a little bit tougher, we made the game a lot more competitive.
Justin, they played 6 offensive linemen for a large part of the game. Do you feel like that for you guys for a little bit, what it took to readjust back to that?
Yeah, I thought it was a little different. I know 83 went out the game early. I'm not sure what ended up happening with them. But they definitely wanted to establish the run. They wanted to make it a point running behind 28. And, it took us a second to adjust to that. But then we ended up coming around and switching up our play calling in order to combat it.
Last two, Todd. Justin, 2 weeks ago, you guys had a chance to finish off the game in Indianapolis and weren't able to get it done. So what does it say about this defense and how did it feel today to be in the same position to get it done?
Yeah. As the course of the season goes on, you just got to keep moving in the upward direction. So we didn't finish the game in Indianapolis. We were able to finish this one out. We can come out next week, got a big challenge in front of us with the Buffalo Bills. Definitely got to start faster than we did today. Don't want to peak too soon, but as long as we keep moving in the right direction, I think we're going to head to places that we're ready to go.
Just this came down to a final offensive drive at 1 point. Just what was the temperament of the team in the moments that sort of led to you guys having that late success?
Yeah, so we take it back to training camp. Training camp, we made a statement on the defensive side of the ball that we wanted to be an attitude defense. And when opportunity fell in our lap to finish the game on the defensive side, we wanted to do that. We didn't want to always have to rely on offense. We wanted to come out as a defense and be strong, be physical, and finish out games too. So we did it today, but we're going to have to do it next week too.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Chiefs get the win 30-29. Now we're with the man, one of the men of the hour, one of the great rookies here, George Karlaftis. Okay, you're brand new into this Chiefs-Raider rivalry, but now you got a taste of it. What was that like?
It's intense. You know, they did a lot of things. They schemed for us. They did a lot of stuff they didn't show on film, so it was pretty tough for us. You know, a lot of the tackle over, they tried to run it and establish the run. They did a good job of that the first half, and then we kind of shut it down in the second half. So, you know, it's all about how you finish.
You had to feel like you were back like playing Wisconsin again when you were at Purdue. But let me ask you about it, the tackle over tackle. Then they line up a fullback, and then here comes Jacobs. What were you guys, what was the issue early, and then what did you guys do to fix it?
Yeah, I mean, that's like...
Y'all got this outfit right here?
Yeah, that's old school smash mouth football. You know, it's like Big Ten. It's like what they ran like in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, you know. So, you know, we had to practice, you know, we practiced for that. You know, and it's good to play against that. You don't see that every week. You know, you got to bring it. You got to bring it when you see a team that does those kinds of things.
Moving you around, what is that like? I mean, we got you going everywhere.
Yeah, play from a 0, which is head up against the center as a nose guard, to a wide 9 as an end, and everything in between. You know, I'm just committed to doing everything there is to win. You know, we had guys go out, praying for both of them for a speedy recovery. You know, and I'm just the guy that's willing to do everything. You know, I said I don't care, coach. Like you know, put me out there and I'll do the best I can. You know, to help this team win. You know, whether they wanted to isolate Chris or make games for me or whatever. It's all about winning. You know, there's nothing better than this.
No, so there's not. Watching Joe Cullen with you at St. Joseph look like Full Metal Jacket with a drill instructor. It's like every day he's on you.
Coach Joe's great. Best D-line coach in the NFL. Best D-line coach in the NFL.
It's showing up with you guys. But just to keep chopping wood, down 17-0, what was the dialogue to keep you guys saying, hey, in it, this thing could flip?
It was, you know, we knew what we were capable of, you know, at the end of the day, and we just had to bring it. You know, no rah-rah speeches, and you know, it's like Chris. Chris, like, stepped up and got us going. You know, he's our leader, you know, especially up front. You know, we had all the veterans, you know. Not saying anything crazy, not trying to motivate us or anything like that, but just, hey, guys, look, we're better than this. You know, let's get it going. We know what we're capable of, and we know where we want to go.
And he's worked so hard this year. Let's go to the two-point conversion. That ends up being the difference in the game. 30-29, they just plowed Jacobs into the line. How big was it, no pun intended, to have the big step up in the gaps?
It's massive. You know, it's a different game if that doesn't happen. So it's game-changing plays, and you know, when the game's on the defense's shoulders, it's what we want. It's what you live for as a defensive player, especially.
I lied. One more question to flip the page now. This is Bills week already, man. Like 3-2-1. Let's go Bills.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, let's get after it.
You know, obviously they got Josh Allen, and they got, you know, their offense presents a lot of challenges for a lot of different reasons, and they have a good defense too. You know, I don't really watch the opponent's defense really, but their offense, you know, Josh Allen's obviously great. You know, they got good running back, great O-line, a lot of good receivers too. So definitely a lot of challenges. You know, probably start watching them tonight. You know, and you got to bring it all, just like it is every week's. You know, every week, every game's the biggest game, and just got to prepare like that.
I'm just guessing, George, they won't go tackle over tackle and run offset eye all night long.
And they might. They might. You never know. You know, we showed that we can, you know, stop it once, you know, make a couple adjustments, and you know, we're ready for anything and everything.
So good to have you in the kingdom, man. George Karlaftis.
It's Raiders Chiefs, baby. It's gonna bring it out of you, man. Especially, you know, we started off a little slow.
Had some calls not go our way, and got not only us fired up, but that entire stadium fired up. And Arrowhead had our back, so we just rallied together and really fought through that one.
When it is an emotional game like that, how much does it sort of get you going?
I mean, I feel like I'm always trying to be fired up, trying to bring the energy as a leader on the team. But to get that energy and focus going in the right direction, that's the biggest thing, and that's where we lean on Coach Reed, Coach Bieniemy, our offensive staff, or at least on the offensive side of the ball, to keep it composed, don't let it get too emotional, and just play with a lot of passion for the guy next to you.
It looked like you were trying to calm Andy down at one point during sort of anger about that call. Is that a little different dynamic?
I've never tried to calm that guy down. Once the Big Red gets fired up, baby, we're rolling. I promise you that.
You ever seen him that mad?
A few times. A few times. Maybe not for the right reasons, but.
You've never had 4 touchdowns in a game. I know that you're a big team guy, but at what point did maybe you start to realize, like, this could be one of the more special nights you might have in your career?
I'm not even thinking about it like that, man. It was a fun game to see everybody rally together like that, being down, 17, I think. Nobody cracked, nobody, you didn't see doubt in anybody's eyes. All it did was just, almost build the beast, made us kind of rally together, circle the wagons in a way, and just and fight for each other. And when you see that out of us, man, it's we know we can play some good football when we have that kind of mentality.
Any part of you wondering how this group would do in that kind of situation?
We got a lot of hard workers, man. And on top of that, we got a veteran offensive line. We got a veteran quarterback, the best one in the biz, and a lot of receivers that have been in tough positions before. Marquez had an unbelievable game. Can't say enough about his work ethic and what he's brought to this team, both as a mentality and and just as a veteran leader. And then you see Juju making big plays downfield. McCullen, obviously a staple for the past couple years for us, has been in those adverse situations, fought through, found ways to win, found ways to have success. It never once, doubt never seeped in with this group. And it's because we got a lot of veteran guys that know when times get tough, we just rally and stick together.
You talk about the rallying and stick together. When things aren't going right, who has the main voice in that, or is it just a collective?
It's a collective. It's a collective group. You saw some passion out of 1-5 today. That got me going even more than I already was fired up. From there, Orlando Brown is an unbelievable vet to have on that offensive line. I can't say enough about what his mentality is. And then all 5 of them today rallied together and found a way to stop the pass rush so the Pack can get the ball downfield. Smart guy, one of the biggest guys out there to enforce his will. When he starts talking, everybody listens. He's had a bunch of success in this league and a bunch of success as a football player. We know the family tree, and it's so much fun to play with a guy like that, knowing that, when times do get rough, we got somebody on the O-line, a dog on the O-line that's going to be able to rally the group. And sure enough, all 5 of them up front battled their tails off, and we found a way to get a dub for sure. Yeah, I feel like once you get in the red zone, the windows get tighter. You got to play more physical. You got to, there's just a mentality that you have to bring. And we saw the past couple weeks, especially last week, everyone loved to talk about how Pat is, the magic Mahomes that he is. The play's never dead, man. And you'll forever see us working until that whistle blows or until, the play's dead. And it's just a mentality that we have. I know that as creative as he is, he's going to find a way to get anybody the ball in the right position. And sure enough, I caught my momentum going across field, knowing that everybody was flowing to the side that I had caught the ball on. And then from there, got a huge block by McCullen. and sure enough, just made a couple guys miss to be able to get in there.
Last 4. I suppose McColl's going to want that to be a pancake. I don't know. Grade that out.
Listen, that's looked like a pancake to me from my angle.
When you're talking about Orlando and I think Wiley too, when things were looking tough early for them, how hard is it for tackles in particular to switch that momentum against good pass rushers like that and to turn the tables during it?
I mean, both our tackles are pros. Both of them have a dog mentality. It's going to take more than just one sack to be able to get them off their game or to be able to get in their head. Obviously, there's things we can do offensively that can slow that down with a great run game. I know a lot of what the Raiders were trying to do was to slow me down at the line of scrimmage. They were using their best pass rushers to try and hit me before the ball or before I even got into route. Using that to our advantage, things like that. It's just I think that over the course of a game, you start to get comfortable against the guys you are playing against. You know, hats off to the Raiders. They came out with a lot of energy, with a lot of fight, and like they maintained that throughout the game. But I just feel like when we're playing our tails off, playing for each other like you saw, it's going to be a 4-quarter dogfight, and we're fortunate enough to come out with a win tonight.
Now, you talk about that, and as you mentioned, you all were down 20-10, obviously, with what happened with Christian. What's the message that Andy Reid, especially knowing like he did his fire, what was the message that he gave you all going into the locker room and coming out of the half?
One play at a time. One play at a time, rally together and find a way. And he knew he didn't have to say too much. There were a lot of guys. I think everybody kind of felt the disappointment almost. And that fired us up to go out there in the second half and just finish how we finished the first half, if that makes sense.
Travis, earlier in your career, I'm sure it was a bit odd or a bit difficult to go through a double team, especially going up against a team like New England. Knowing it's a defensive principles that are being applied today, just how much do you enjoy that challenge of maybe, as you said earlier, sort of flipping, using the double team to the offense?
I love it. I love it. Bring it, man. Bring it. I'm going to make it so you got to bring a triple team. That's my mentality. I still try and find ways to get open. I still got to be able to, be there for the quarterback on time. And I take pride in, even if they're trying to hit me at the line of scrimmage, be able to get through that, still get into route and still be on time. And it's just, it's a mentality, man, that never be stopped.
It seems like a lot of work, but how much of it is a joy when you go through all that work and a guy like Marquez or Juju or Sky makes a reception?
Oh, man, it gets me fired up. Gets me fired up because then I can talk. I almost said. Then I can talk smack to the guys, to the two that are guarding me, saying, you might want to go to your defensive coordinator and switch it up here, bud.
You've got a lot of records, Travis, and a lot of a short list. But 4 touchdowns, there's tight ends, only 3 others that have done it. Guys like Mike Ditka, Kellen Winslow. How special does it feel to be in a group like that?
I mean, kind of piggybacking off of what I said last week when I went up to number 5 on the yards list. I've been so fortunate to be here and reap the benefits of Coach Reid, this offensive staff, my tight end coach Tom Melvin, and then obviously great players like a Patrick Mahomes or a Alex Smith, or I got to see Jamal Charles earlier today. It's just, I've been so fortunate to be here, and I think it's a mentality to never let a day stop, never let a day, or never let a day slip by that you're not working your tail off for the guys around you. And it's in my mind, I'm going to have that mentality until I hang these things up. And wherever I land on all these lists that you guys keep bringing up, it's pretty cool to just be in talks with them.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Travis.
Have a good one, guys.
What a night for Travis Kelce. 4 touchdowns. 4, not 1, not 2, but 4. Walk us through these touchdowns.
I can't even think of all of them right now. All I could think about was seeing Jamal Charles pregame and him looking at me and saying, "You got to get 5 like I did against the Raiders," and I was 1 away, baby. So JC, I don't know. We play him again in January, so I'm gonna try and maybe get 6 next time. Who knows?
I called him Seabiscuit. So you had Seabiscuit in your grill.
Yeah, he also. The only thing is he had like 300 yards with it. I only had 25 or something like that.
But if you're going to get 25 yards, make 4 touchdowns. Let's go to the third one, because to me that was the impressive one. 3 stiff arms. 1, 2, 3, you just kept angling, and that gave the Chiefs the lead. Just what about your grit and determination on that route and play?
It's a mentality. It's a mentality every single week to keep fighting for these guys next to me, and I think it trickles down from Coach Reed, his mentality of, we're never out of it, and we better never stop fighting, man. And I say it all the time, baby, we're all hard, man. We're all hard. We got a lot of guys that it means a lot to in this building, and it's so fun to play with them, especially on nights like tonight where you get to see it.
So down 17-0, how much is there chatter of like, hey, we've done this before, let's do it again?
You know it, baby. You know it. There's guys that are on this sideline that it's proven. We've come back from big deficits before, especially when we can get it going before the half. Looking back on it, we got to start fast. We can't put our defense in a situation like that, but they even rallied together, got a bunch of big-time stops, and we just keep moving forward, man. And that's there's a lot of talk on the sideline that just come together, man. Rally together. Be there for your teammate. Don't let this moment get too big. Don't let doubt seep in, and just take it one play at a time, and that's what we did.
I'm going to ask you about Patrick, because it seems like he's just gritting it out. Like, even at more than any time in his career, he's just fighting his tail off.
Every single down, man. We made a joke about him being Houdini last week, but it's really just the heart in him to keep a play alive, to be able to see downfield, to be confident that he can, put the ball in the air and get it to his playmakers, and his playmakers can make plays for him in big-time moments, like Quez did today, like Nicole did, like Juju did. It was just it was a fun win. Obviously, we got to keep ourselves out of that situation we did in the first quarter there, but it's good to see everybody fight and rally together, man, because that's only going to make us better down the line.
This was all set up. We're going to close this way, but 87 and running, the foundation, an epic night. I mean, you had Chris Jones buying boxes of cereals for 5 digits, but just that night and how that leaving there felt like it was setting this game up.
I'm very, very fortunate that my Foundation 87 run has been able to not only help the kids and change the lives of a lot of youth in this area, but it brings together this community. And fortunately, this past Saturday, it brought together our team a little bit more. It was kind of the first time that you saw a lot of the new faces out and about in the city. And I'm just so thankful for the support, not only from this community, but from my teammates, and how much love is actually in this building, and how much it makes you want to play that much more for the guy next to you.
The best that's ever done it, the best tight end in NFL history, Travis Kelce. Chiefs get the victory 30-29 over the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday Night Football. Now you get 3, 2, 1, boom, it's over. It's already Buffalo Bills week, because the thing about Monday Night Football, it's Tuesday morning of Bills week now.
Yeah, should we count to 13? Maybe not. Oh, yeah.
I thought about you when the Chiefs get the 59-yard field goal at the end of the half and do it in 17 seconds.
Yeah. Well, big game, of course, coming up here for the Chiefs against the Buffalo Bills. I am going to enjoy this one tonight, I think, but on a short week, not a lot of time to enjoy it. The exciting thing about this team is they're not going to be enjoying this one for too long at all. They're right back at it tomorrow, but at least for tonight, let's enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. But this team now has done a lot. They've played in every time possible. Keep in mind, you can only play Thursday night, Sunday at noon, Sunday at 3-ish, Sunday night, Monday night. This Chiefs team in their first 5 games has played in all 5 time slots. Why is that a big deal? I don't know. Change your week this week where Monday's Tuesday and maybe Wednesday. Oh, no, it's Thursday. But this team's handled it. They've handled a lot already, so they look forward to taking on the Buffalo Bills.
And just consider the opponents the Chiefs have had to face through this stretch. Just a brutal opening 5-game stretch, and to emerge from it 4-1. Going into this Buffalo game 4-1 and feeling really good after a huge divisional victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. You just feel great about this team right now. And what we love about this group is they find ways to win these kinds of games. How many teams are down 17 points to a hungry division rival and they roll over? They say, it's not our day. Not the Chiefs. And that's why I say, bring on the Buffalo Bills, as good as they are, because this team never gives up.
As we close the show, though, we need to give credit not only to Andy Reid, but this entire coaching staff. Big-time adjustments made down 17-0. For 10 years, we've seen these comebacks. This isn't something that flew out from the planet Jupiter. and the fact that there's something about this team, toughness, mentally and emotionally, to come back in a game like this.
It takes a certain mentality. I mean, this isn't easy, especially playing a good team like the Raiders, who are hungry, like I've mentioned. It takes a total team effort to know we are not out of this game. It's one drive, it's one play, and we'll find a way. The Chiefs found a way here tonight, and it's even sweeter it being over the Raiders.
And it's the next biggest game in the NFL on the calendar again. Seems like the Chiefs are in that about every week, but here come the Bills. 3:25 at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. All week long, we'll get you ready.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.